Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about very retarded shit, because after all, the world doesn't stop being retarded just because I take a dump, or take a nap, or I fuck myself in my sleep and I contaminate the room with oniony smell that leaves me questioning my diet. Yeah. From bounding to comics. God of War Ragnarok narrative director Sophos defends Angrboda. A race swap, the series is an interpretation of mythology through our alliance. Well, isn't it interesting that usually things like this happens with Western mythology, but doesn't quite happen with Chinese, Japanese, Eastern mythology, African mythology? No. Let's think for a second over here. If you wanted to shove in diversity, why not use the folklore and myth from Africa, from sub-Saharan Africa? Use it. I will have no objections over it. In fact, I think it would be quite interesting for other people to actually experience something different. Even I would support it because it's something different. It's not the same thing over and over and over and over again. Why not do, I don't know, Aztec mythology, Mayan mythology? I have a pretty good idea of some Mayan mythology that would actually be pretty interesting to put it in a game. Kratos could go there, I don't know, since these people here have a very flimsy concept of limited fantasy and reality, maybe put Kratos there with an F-15 and M4s and fighting some of the evil entities on Popol Vuh. Yes, it's a book that depicts the Mayan mythology. It's somewhat interesting. It's the way it's written that really kills me. But overall, the theme is interesting. But how it is written, it kills me, because I have the attention span of a very, 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 very horny rabbit who hasn't seen a female rabbit in decades, and is high on Viagra and just raided the meth addict meth stockpile. That's my attention span. Oh, a bird. Anyway, Sophos, the narrative director for the upcoming God of War Ragnarok, has defended the game's decision to race swap the mythological Norse Jotun Angrboda by arguing that the series is our interpretation of mythology, not history. You bigot. You bigoted bigot. God of War Ragnarok, the race swapping of Angrboda, was first seen in the game's premiere trailer released during the September 9th PlayStation 5 showcase, wherein Giantess, mother of Fenrir, appears as a young, black Geralixon woman Nixon, voiced by Laia de Leon Hayes. Well, let me just move on. Here are some of the tweets. Remember, do not talk to these people, do not contact them, do not stare at them, do not even mention them, do not even exchange a single A against them. As you know, disagreement is considered harassment. Heck, even saying I politely disagree with you is considered a death threat for these people, so please stay far away from them, okay? Everybody you see here, that law applies. So it doesn't matter who they are, if it's from your side, if from the other side, I don't care. Just don't contact anybody, okay? I'm watching. Anyway, here is the crazy bitch. Good one. Who is that? Guess who the fuck I'm cosplaying?
I don't understand why a black person.
Because black people exist! Get off my Twitter! That's exactly what I just said. See, the guy was pretty much normal and acted, and then the person here takes, I don't know, it goes from 1 to 100 in seconds. And as you know, the Norse mythology has existed for thousands of years, even before, it was created even before the European nations, the Mediterranean, the Indians, the Arabs, and North Africa became aware of sub-Saharan Africa. Oh, no, let me show it to you here. As you can see here, in this map, you can see here the empires of the empire that existed more or less at the time of the periods of the Viking expansionism. Remember, the Norse mythology existed prior to the Viking expansionism. So, as you can see here, the Vikings entered around all of these areas. Obviously, this is just showing the Islamic empires and things like that. So, as you all know, the Vikings also fought against the Islamic horde, if you prefer. So, there's no need to go into details into that, but I want you to focus on this area. This is where the black that you see in Angrboda comes from, this area. It's sub-Saharan Africa. As you know, this region was actually pretty isolated up until recently. Give it what? 700, 800 years ago, give or take some number? It was pretty isolated because there was a big, fucking, gigantic, huge mass of sand and desert in the middle, protecting this entire region over here, as you can see, from actually reaching the northern part. So, the entire thing that developed here, that came out of here, is pretty much isolated. So, the culture, the folklore, everything else, it should be quite interesting for them to explore, but they didn't. They don't give a shit. And remember, the people here in this region here, that is, but there is the Nubian. No. Remember, the pictures you see on the internet, you have to actually take account of the lighting of the room, the lighting of the camera, the lenses and things like that. Plus, the idea that the people who actually painted those had a very limited set of colors. And then you also have to take into account the aging of the paint. So, yeah, people from that region will be very dark brown, but that doesn't mean they are actually sub-Saharan Africa. So there is a very big difference. You need to respect the cultures of those people as well. There's no logic in putting sub-Saharan African on Norse mythology. There is no fucking logic into that, because you're not only disrespecting Norse mythology, but you're also disrespecting the African mythology, because you're pretty much saying, guys, I'm gonna put a black in Norse mythology because I think the African mythology is not worth my time to develop. See, that's exactly what they are implying. Dude, I'm pretty sure that is sub-Saharan African mythology that you see here from that region is pretty much worth the time to develop a game for it. Or at least, if you want to actually add a diversity, you can actually pretty much use that region and the folklore in there and explore it, because I can count on my finger how many games that addresses or talks about this, and I can think of none. I think there's Age of Empires that talks about some of the empires here, but I think they mostly talk or mention it after the Islamic invasion of this region. Which means pretty much none. And remember, back in the days, and this is still way too much in the future from when the Viking mythology was created. As you can see here, this is from 220 BC, before Common Age. So this is still way too much in the future from what was known by the Vikings back then when they created the Norse mythology. Black people did not exist for these people. They have never ever seen one before. The same can apply to the Africans who lived in the sub-Saharan Africa. They never ever have seen a single white person before they got exchanged the information, as in when the Arabs invaded, when the Europeans became aware of it, and things like that. Neither side knew that the other existed. It's the world. It's called Ice Age. It's called evolution. It's normal. It's not racist or anything like that. It's retarded, to say the least. As you can see here, this is exactly what was known of the world 2,000 years or so ago. So it's hard to imagine that the Vikings would be aware of a black person that came from this region. Exactly the same way you wouldn't expect a god from, I don't know, from the Fulani or Akan or one of the mythology of those empires to have a white individual. It would be nearly impossible to even comprehend that. I am sorry, it's just not possible. And this shows that the South Africans, everybody living in South Africa, are immigrants. Everybody. So, as you can see, and I have the research to actually back it up. Here it is from Egypt. Ancient Egyptian mummy genome suggests increase of sub-Saharan African ancestry in post-Roman periods, as in after the Roman conquest. But in this case, they are not actually saying that it came after the Romans and things like that. Now, it still took a few hundred years for that to actually happen. They are just setting a mark in the time period of the research. But as you can see over here, this is the map. This is from where the ancient population and everybody else comes from in Egypt. So, Egyptians were white. Anyway, let's get back in here. Let's deal with another retard. User then joined the conversation arguing to Smith, not in Norse mythology, ma'am. He was pretty much polite in here, but then we have the actual guy who thought this was a good idea. Do they have blood warriors in Norse mythology? Was Loki the son of a Greek demigod? Please show me in the Eddas where it says that all Jotun were lily white. Let me save you the time. You can't. I've read them. Yeah. Yes, I can actually prove it to you because of everything I just explained from this video here, from what? Nearly 30 minutes. It's me explaining why the Norse mythology, everybody was white because the gods they created represented the culture and the people from the region when it was created. It is completely normal and acceptable and logical to think that the Norse mythology are all white, the sub-Saharan mythology from or whatever empire you choose from in that region are all black. The same concept, the same idea you can reach from all the mythology of the Chinese mythology to be Asian and Chinese, the same for Japanese, the same from Aztecs, Mayans, Incans. It's completely normal. It's the representation of the culture of the people at that time. If, for instance, Star Wars, they have the Jediism or Jedi. This is new, and as you can see, their concept of Jedi and things like that and the Force include peoples of all races, because that's new. It has been discovered or created after the exchange of populations and races from each region in the world. You can't say the same thing from the Norse. You can't say the same thing from the Aztecs. You can say the same thing from the Sub-Saharan because all of that was created before the exchange of culture worldwide. It's exceptionally annoying dealing with these ignorant morons. Anyway, Let's see what this guy says. Then I trust you that you make some of the mythological characters white in the eventual Egyptian series of God of War games. Wouldn't want any double standards, correct? Okay, the guy here has a point, but he also is wrong. Egyptian. Yes, the Egyptian culture and mythology are indeed white, or brown, depending on how further south you reach. But overall, it's brown to white, it's Caucasians. Let's see what he says. And now, here is his reply. So basically, he weaseled out. It's pretty much the same thing for SJWs and Stumpcockers. It's the same shit.
You do know, the children unreal, right? They can't be anyone or anything, some are even giant serpents. Oh, hashtag diversity tools. But I get it, you're only okay with your Mungander because your skills were white, right? Well, good luck to you. Hope you can find a game that better fits your sensibilities.
So in other words, he will do every single deity in Egypt black. Because after all, these people are definitely not aware of the hypocrisy or stupidity. They do not understand history. They do not know or understand the logic behind things that were created or invented by these people back in thousands upon thousands of years ago. Now, watch morons who eventually will watch this video actually think that I'm being racist for even suggesting that the sub-Saharan mythology cannot have whites, or that Norse cannot have blacks or Asians, or that the Chinese mythology cannot have whites or blacks. Watch them take everything I said out of context. Watch it. God damn it. Let's see. Neither are the Egyptian gods. Let's see.
Neither are the easier gods. I can only imagine how upset you have been had we made Thor black.
Jesus. And I'm starting to think they may have considered that too.
Oh, now I have seen my busted unit. Now, to really help you find what you're looking for, but you're gonna have to look elsewhere. Hashtag, we're still seeing now.
Following a weekend's worth of continued discourse, Sophos took to Twitter on September 13 to offer a soft final statement on the matter of Angrboda race swap.
Well, mute button got to work out this weekend. Granted of my own doing. You probably know what this is about. If you don't, bless you. So I'm going to address things here and hope, fortunately, it will be the last time I have to do so. Settle up.
Okay, what he has to say, because it's a lot. 11. Oh shit, a lot of retarded messages. I'm gonna just go through them to shorten this video up, because he's retarded too. So, Angrboda in our game is our young black woman, yes, okay. The vast majority of players are thrilled and think she looks incredible. No, I don't think so, and why does she do? And I don't think she looks like a woman. She kind of looks like a little girl in that image. I don't know why. But a tiny vocal sliver of the internet was offended at this note. Yes, I'm offended that you are not only telling me that the sub-Saharan mythology is not worth your time to develop or create a game based around that, but you also think that because of it, you can actually show off and use a tokenized person on Norse mythology. Yes, what you're pretty much doing exactly what the races in the past did. Tokenizing people. Stop doing that. It's exceptionally racist. Let's see what he else has to say. Quote,
You gave to outside pressure. You can count on 2 fingers the number of notes we've gotten for story changes to 2018, plus Game of War, God of War, Ragnarok combined. It was not one of them. I'm grateful for the tools given to us to tell the best story possible without interference. So yeah, nonsense.
So basically you're in favor of tokenization. You racist bastard, aren't you? Allegedly.
So you made it political as a writer. Your job is to tell stories that are compelling and relatable. You bring a piece of yourself to the stories and your opinion shine through, so writing is always political. So it's just usually called that if the politics are agreed.
Let's see, I can't do that voice any longer. Let's see. It's not accurate to Norse mythology, doesn't respect the culture.
Oh boy! The big one! Let me start with this. God of War is our interpretation of mythology. Not history, Norse or Greek. We tell a personal story with a backdrop of gods, giants, etc. through our lens.
I would be exceptionally offended if you made a deity or a god or a creature from sub-Saharan mythology white individual origin. I don't want that. Respect the local folklore. Respect the local mythology. That's all I ask. I hate tokenization from either side of the spectrum. No.
And then the lens is not 100% by others. So for instance, here's a quick review of some mythological main characters from God of War.
Jesus Christ, legendary blue. Dwarven locksmith when we're blue and talks like a full method. Okay, rooted in Norse mythology, the Scottish. He's pretty much trying to defend shit that is undefensible. You are actually doing tokenization. Guess what I'm saying? We've consistently taken mythological characters and given them our own spins of the color of Angrboda's skin is where you draw the line of how respectful we have been. It's probably worth some self-examination. Yes, I'm self-examining your actions, and I think your tokenization is exceptionally racist. That's my opinion, and I believe it so to be true based on my opinion. You are tokenizing a person, a culture, and then you're tokenizing the other side because Jesus Christ, these people really have no idea what they're doing, do they? Hypocrites. A bunch of them. Hypocrites. Anyway, if you like this type of content, stay right here on youtube.com/Dr. Jester. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell button, and as usual, if you hit the notification bell button, you're gonna get a notification from my beautiful face when you upload new content. So, stay tuned. Anyway, have a great fucking night!